Good afternoon and welcome to everyone onto our next roundtable session. Andy's volunteered to speak about his experiences of PTSD. Over to you, Andy.
Hi, my name is Andy Cunnington. I'm a contract security manager within Global. I'm going to talk about where PTSD has affected me and my family and people around me.
I had to make the change, and in effect all I did was make a phone call. I was out in Afghanistan in 2007 and I had a torrid time. It was very difficult, but at the time I didn't realise how difficult it was. I find talking about PTSD fairly open and fairly easy because I've gone through a process and I've been given a whole set of tools through support that I've personally received from one of the veterans' charities. But talking about incidents that I've gone through and stuff that keeps me up at night and affects me is very difficult. It's very difficult for civilians to understand some of the stuff you've been through and also understand your mentality.
My name's Mark Alscott and I deliver a programme that supports the armed forces community on behalf of BT. BT employs probably more armed forces veterans than any other company in the UK. People who come out of the armed forces bring a wealth of transferable skills that BT and other employers can really benefit from.
So we're just going to take the 1.2 metre dish up to about 25 metres a day, Endo?
That's about it, yeah. Good to go, I think. Yeah, that'll do, yeah.
What gets me out of bed every morning is knowing that what we do as a company makes a difference to real people.
Age before beauty, Endo.
Beauty before the beast.
I spent 8 years in the Royal Military Police in the British Army. After leaving the Army, I seen that Openreach were very keen on ex-forces personnel just because of the skills and qualities that can transfer over. I'm still out in the field. I thought it was just perfect for me. We've got guys in the city centres, we've got guys in rural, we've got guys up mountains, we've got guys that are travelling over to different islands, so the contrast is massive. Especially the more north you go here, there is little settlements, and sometimes it's purely a lifeline for them. That's just how they keep connected to the outside world. So it's vitally important that we keep that service going. When I go to a customer's house and I'm either repairing or providing service, I can see it firsthand in their face. It means a lot to them. So I have to make sure I'm doing the job the best I can to make my customer smile.
People coming from the forces are not that much more likely to have mental health issues than civilians. The peer-to-peer support network is there for anybody in the company on a range of topics, whether that's anxiety or depression or alcohol abuse or any issue that you want to talk about. There'll be somebody who's volunteered and said, yeah, I'm willing to listen and help. Giving people a space to be heard, that's something that every employer should be doing as standard. Mental health is important for all of us, and if we have a conduit for our colleagues to reach out and talk to somebody, that's really important just to enable that conversation.
Peer-to-peer is essentially a group of volunteers who go through a training process to be able to support their colleagues who are going through a tough time with some form of mental health related worries. I undertook the peer-to-peer training and there was a webinar that was going on, and I listened into a lady called Vicky.
My mental health has always been an uneasy affair, just being an outsider. It got to the point where it really was either I was going to commit suicide or I was going to come out.
Her story inspired me to offer to share my story. Lots of my friends and colleagues post-war have taken their own lives. I have a real thought around suicide, and I understand to the nth degree why people would do that. I refer back to a military saying of dig or deploy. You either fight on or you give up fighting. The realization of where I was and, pretty much a big angry man who was anxious about meeting people, anxious about stepping out the door. I just thought that was normal. I promised my wife that I would do something to change because I knew that we couldn't go on and I wouldn't have my children in my life and I wouldn't have her in my life and life would be very difficult. From then to now, life is massively different. Life is hugely different. When you realise that there's other people that are going through very similar stories, and you start to learn and manage, that's the whole idea of the peer-to-peer. To understand that there's people out there to support you, and that there is always hope.
Sometimes that little phone call just asking how someone is can go a long way.
There's somebody there to listen. Talking about it does help.
I'm very proud to work for BT. They do things right. It's a very positive community to be involved with. The peer-to-peer is the first port of call. But my whole engagement is to be able to be a father and be an inspiration to my children. They're beautiful boys, and my wife has been absolutely amazing. So my future is to be there for them.